I'm just going to get right into this. I'm not showing any video clips. I'm just going to talk and tell you what I think about the bullshit raid on Mar-a-Lago on Monday. As you know, everybody knows, the FBI decided to raid Mar-a-Lago early Monday morning. They showed up with in excess of 30 agents and local Palm Beach police. They went there seeking something. No one knows what. Some claim that Trump allegedly took documents from the White House when he exited the residence when Joe Biden was moving in. It's been almost 2 years since Trump left the White House, and they chose this past Monday to raid his private residence, and I'm calling bullshit on it. When the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, that genius, she was asked if the White House knew in advance that the FBI was going to raid Trump's residence. She claims the White House did not have prior notice before the action took place. Merrick Garland, the AG, another part of the Biden crime regime or crime family, is still silent as well. I'm calling bullshit on all of this. In my view, in my opinion, they have nothing left. This frail Joe Biden has been the alleged president of the United States for almost 2 years, and everything he's done, every step of the way, he has failed miserably. Absolutely miserably. So if they want the American people to believe that he did not know, or Nancy Pelosi did not know, or Chuck Schumer did not know, or Kamala Harris didn't know that the Department of Justice was going to conduct a raid on a former president's private residence, these people are morons. They really believe, in my view, that they are so smart and so elite, they think the rest of the American people are a bunch of fucking morons. There is no way that a former president's private home is raided by the Federal Bureau of Investigation without Joe Biden giving the okay. It's unprecedented. It's never happened before. But what he has done is he's weaponized the Department of Justice to go after conservatives. These Democrats, radical left Democrats, are running so scared that they believe that raiding Trump's home was going to put them on the path to victory in November. I quite frankly think that the raid did the total opposite. What it did was let people see, even the believers, even the left believers, it let them see how dirty this administration is and can be. This guy has failed at every single thing since he has taken office. Every bad policy, every step of the way. They tried to silence the American people with their disinformation board. That failed because we have a right to free speech, but the Democrats don't like it. They still don't like it, but their disinformation board failed. They let thousands upon thousands of illegal immigrants into our country, and they continue to let them in today, but they claim the borders are closed and secure, when we all know that's bullshit. The Texas governor has been busing illegal immigrants to Washington, D.C. and New York City to get them out of his state. And those mayors are irate. How dare you send these illegals to our cities? Well, this is what you people want. You want the illegals in your cities because you want to give them identification to vote so you can all get reelected. Bullshit. It's lies. The borders are wide open and thousands of illegal immigrants are crossing them every single day. the radical left wants to approve and let children, young children, get gender assignment surgery because they believe that a 6-year-old or a 10-year-old is smart enough to know that they don't like that they're a boy or a girl. They want to be something else. This administration wants to approve it. That's absolutely disgusting, and that's bullshit. They wanted to take our guns away. They want to prevent us from buying automatic weapons. The nitwit congressman from Rhode Island, David Cicilline, was swearing up and down during the congressional hearings that an arm brace for an AR-15 was a bump stock. He insisted this turns into a bump stock and it makes it an automatic weapon. He's a fucking buffoon. That is not true, and it never will be true. And he was put in his place by another congressman, and they actually had to Google it to show that nitwit that what he was talking about was absolute nonsense. Everything they've done was a failure. They still want to defund the police, but the Democrat-run cities where crime is outrageous are crying for help now. The mayor of D.C. is asking for the National Guard because crime is so high. That request was denied. This is what they wanted. They wanted less police on the street to let all the criminals run free, but now they see how wrong they were and they can't do anything about it. Inflation is at an all-time high, and the Biden administration will still tell you that inflation is not high. The figures are inaccurate, so we just have to deal with it for now because it's going to go away. Raiding Trump's residence is a desperate last attempt to take the heat off of Joe Biden and his criminal enterprise. It's interesting also that the enterprise that he's running, he's been running his whole congressional career. His son is one of the biggest international criminals out there. He's made so many dirty dealings in China, in Ukraine, in Russia, and other countries that I just can't think of the names right now, but we all know it's true. Every bit of information that came off of that laptop that Hillary Clinton called Russian disinformation is all true. And supposedly the federal authorities are still investigating that, but I don't have too much confidence that they're going to charge Hunter Biden with anything significant. But that remains to be seen. What's more interesting about this raid is the magistrate judge who signed the warrant to approve the raid on Trump's residence. Bruce Reinhart is his name. Bruce Reinhart used to be a federal prosecutor for a number of years, and then he went into private practice before he became a magistrate judge. When he was in private practice, he defended employees of Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, Jeffrey Epstein, the serial pedophile who allegedly hung himself in prison. He defended pilots of Jeffrey Epstein. He defended other employees of Jeffrey Epstein. And, if you will, when Donald Trump was president and he was going after Hillary Clinton, Bruce Reinhart was given the case. And what did he do? He recused himself from that case because he knew he was in with these people and he could not go against Hillary Clinton in fear of what? We all know the Clinton reputation, right? So he wanted no part of that bullshit. So he recused himself. But he had no problem whatsoever of approving a warrant to raid a former president's private residence. This shit that's going on is so ridiculous that they really don't have anything left. And to get back to Reinhart for 1 second, on January 14th, 2017, there was a post on Twitter talking about the late Congressman John Lewis. He was a civil rights leader, civil rights activist. That's great. Well, Bruce Reinhart made a comment on that tweet, and it said, and I quote, "Donald Trump doesn't have the moral stature to kiss John Lewis's feet." End quote. Those were the words of Magistrate Judge Bruce Reinhart, the magistrate judge who again approved and signed the warrant for Mar-a-Lago. Hillary Clinton has to be involved in this. She has to be. Nancy Pelosi has to be involved in it. Chuck Schumer, Kamala Harris, Merrick Garland, and the FBI director. There is no way on God's green earth that Joe Biden did not give the green light for this raid. And it goes on that, I'm sorry, this is so aggravating. Pelosi was asked today or yesterday about what she thought of the raid on Mar-a-Lago. And her words were similar to this: "I knew nothing about it. I only knew about it when it came across my phone. So I found out when everyone else did." That's bullshit. That's coming from Pelosi's mouth. We all know, I don't know if she was drunk already, but she probably was half in the bag anyways. Chuck Schumer, I'm not sure if he was asked about it, but during this whole thing, he was too busy pushing through and getting passed in the Senate Biden's so-called Inflation Reduction Act. What that act will do, in fact, is raise taxes on the middle class and make it harder for them than it already is during this record high inflation. But that's okay with them, because they're all millionaires. They could care less. They made sure they took out a part that was going to affect billionaires, so they would have to pay more taxes. Because God forbid you bite the hand that feeds you. The millionaires and the billionaires are the ones who are funneling this cash into the campaigns of these criminals, because they want to keep them in Washington to keep making the millionaires and billionaires more money. And this gets even better. All of this took place just 91 days away from the November midterm elections. So again, what does that tell you? The radical left has lost every battle, every step of the way since Joe Biden allegedly became president. They have tried it all. They did nothing for 4 years while Trump was president, but try to impeach him twice, try to investigate his family and his business dealings, all for nothing, because they never found anything. But when he mentioned Hunter Biden and all his criminal activities, they didn't want to hear it. It was all Russian disinformation. The route that our country is on right now is very disturbing, and quite frankly, we're in dark times. Never in the history of our country has a former president's private residence been raided by a large group of federal agents, and word is that they spent hours going through room after room after room. And in fact, they had someone that could crack safes with them, because they had to open safes, and I'm pretty sure they knew Trump was going to tell them to fucking beat it. But why didn't they impound the safe and get a warrant to search it? The warrant was to search the residence. I don't believe that warrant was to open or break open safes. But they did it, and from reports I've read, they found nothing. So if they're looking for some sacred documents that they think Trump took, I do know they walked out of there with a lot of boxes of material. They're running scared. They don't have anything left to do. They know Joe Biden is compromised because his son has been a criminal most of his adult life. And Joe Biden has made a lot of money off little old Hunter's business dealings in foreign countries. He is a compromised president who lies to the American people every time he gets in front of a camera. Either he won't answer questions, and if they do ask him if he knows about Hunter's dealings, he outright denies it. But then you'll see photos off of the crackhead's computer with Uncle Joe, with all Hunter's foreign buddies on a golf course, at a restaurant, in the White House when he was vice president. He met with those people, whether it's Ukraine or Russia or China or whatever other country they came from. He met with them over 14 times in the White House when he was vice president. There's records of it. But he will look straight into the camera like I am right now and say, I knew nothing. I never asked my son about his business dealings. I so hope that when the Democrats get crushed in November and they lose the White House in 2024, that the new president and the new Republican leaders in Congress go after every single one of them. And I hope they don't sleep until they lock up all of these people. Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Hillary Clinton, Merrick Garland, the FBI director, and anyone else who was involved in this bullshit, unprecedented raid on Donald Trump's home. They waited 2 years to do this. They had all this time. If they really believed that he had information in his private residence that he took from the White House, they would have done this a long time ago. But they knew they had nothing, and they know they have nothing. My fear is they're going to make up something. They're going to plant something, because don't put it past this president and all his insiders to plant information or some kind of document that's going to try to nail Trump to the wall. Don't put it past them. You see what they're all about. People in the United States need to wake the fuck up. This country is a disaster area because of Joe Biden's dirty politics from 40 years ago when he was a congressman until right now. He's done nothing for our country. He never will do anything for our country. And quite frankly, I don't even think he knows he's the president. I hope you saw a video clip of the other day when he came off of Marine One. He couldn't even put on his jacket because it was a little windy. This man is fried. He's frail. He's gone. He needs to step down and go away. Although I'd hate to see what Kamala Harris would do, because she'd probably be 10 times worse than him. But he knows not what he does or what he says. He can't even read a teleprompter. But I guarantee you, he knew exactly what time, what day, what minute those agents were going to go knocking on Trump's gate to enter his compound to search it. And apparently they left no stone unturned. They went through Trump's wife's personal belongings. They went through everything. And from what I read this morning, they spent hours in Trump's private office. Well, if you knew what you were looking for, how big is this fucking office that you spent hours in it? It's all bullshit. It's all a dirty political move at a crisis time for these Democrats, because they know they're getting slaughtered. They know that they're in trouble. And they know that they're failing our country. And of course they'll never admit it, but that's the truth. People need to open their eyes and see what's going on here and wake the fuck up. Whether you're a Republican or an independent or a Green Party or whatever other party is out there, you people need to vote for anybody other than a filthy Democrat who's aligned with Biden, Pelosi, and Schumer, and the rest of those criminal Democrats in Congress. They are a disgrace. They swore to uphold an oath to take care of the country and constituents they serve. And all they do is lie every time they speak and do whatever it is that they need to do to take care of themselves and their chosen few. Okay? Everybody is hurting. And we're hurting because of Joe Biden and his failed administration. So one more time, this raid on Trump is nothing more than a political stunt because they want people to believe Donald Trump is so dirty that he actually had documents, there's some security clearance documents or some shit. He took them with him when he left the White House, and he's had them stored at his residence for 2 years. They want you to believe that. CNN wants you to believe that. MSNBC wants you to believe that. Those asshats on The View want you to believe that. All the radical left, the millionaires, the celebrities, the athletes, all the ones that they glorify, these Democrats glorify because they feed them all the money, they want you to believe that Donald Trump is a criminal. And I've said this before, and I'll say it before I end this video. I've never been a fan of Donald Trump. I think he's a little out there, to be honest with you. But when he was the president, our country was on the right track. And no, I didn't approve of everything he said, but I didn't get butthurt when he put out mean tweets like the rest of the pussies in this country. They didn't like it. He's hurting my feelings. Well, guess what? Your feelings are going to get hurt. But I'd rather have my feelings hurt than my wallet or my bank account. And that's the only thing getting hurt right now is my wallet and my bank account and millions of other Americans because of the failed policies of Joe Biden and his failing administration. They want to blame Trump for everything. They want to blame Putin for everything. They're blaming everybody but the responsible person. The responsible person is that frail fool sitting up there, probably at his home in Delaware, because he's very rarely in the White House. He's to blame for all of this, along with Pelosi and Schumer and the rest of their regime. These people are no good, and they're not doing anything right for America. And that's it. If you haven't already liked this video, please consider liking it. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. You'll never miss an episode. Share my video if you will. This is a message that needs to go everywhere, even though it's already everywhere. Please share it if you will. I hope everybody's healthy and safe. And this one's just beginning, so pay attention to the TV, but don't believe everything you read and hear, because everything out of their mouths again is nothing but outright lies. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you real soon. Have a great night.